No business owner is now facing federal charges, accused of facilitating a fire at one of his restaurants. What evidence investigators say helped them crack the case, and how it uncovered what appears to be a pattern of events.
Millions of dollars in sexual education funds across the country now at risk. What the Trump administration is threatening to do if school districts do not axe transgender references, plus how that move is affecting California.
The Trump administration is now looking to reinstate a long dormant practice to vet people who apply for U.S. citizenship. A look at what's included in the process and why the Department of Homeland Security is now straying from FBI-conducted background checks.
And after some crazy weather yesterday, things should be cooling down a little bit and easing up a little bit. We'll show you more of that in your forecast coming up.
You're watching Fox 26, and now, great day.
We begin this Wednesday with a live look at the Sundial Bridge up in Redding. Good morning. Thanks a lot for joining us on this August 27th. I'm Kim Stevens.
I'm Liz Gonzalez.
And I'm Carl Cook. Justin Willis is on assignment. Thank you so much for joining us. And pretty interesting yesterday.
It was.
That's one way to put it.
I mean, I don't know how else more to put it. There are so many other descriptions, but we are on television, so we can't describe them. But
calmer day today?
Absolutely. So,
Okay.
We had some warmer weather Monday. We had some dry lightning and some heavy rain, patches of rain yesterday. So now we'll toss our hat into the bin and we're going to find out what comes out today.
Okay.
But no triple digits is the good news for today. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. But right now, things are looking good for the most part. As far as your current conditions, 71 degrees. Wind speeds are going to be in the northwest direction at 3 miles an hour. Dew point at 54 degrees and some mostly clear skies, depending on where you're at. If you're in some areas, you can even see the stars out there this morning. 10 a.m., 80 degrees. We'll get into 87 there around noontime, and then 97 degrees there at 5 p.m. So, yeah, we're not reaching those triple digits today. We have some clear skies, a complete 180 from yesterday morning, and that seems to be the next weather maker for today, and just seeing how much longer we're going to be able to enjoy these non-triple digits coming up.
A temporary restraining order is now in place after a federal judge ruled in favor of a lawsuit to block the Trump administration from taking federal funding away from the city of Fresno. Last week, we brought you this story about a group of cities and counties that filed a federal lawsuit and a temporary restraining order seeking to stop the enforcement of unlawful executive orders. Fresno City Attorney Jans released the following statement. The administration placed the city and its taxpayers in an impossible position: either violate the Constitution, accept illegal conditions unauthorized by Congress, and place city staff in legal jeopardy. Fresno City Councilmember Annalisa Perea says she's deeply proud of the outstanding work of Fresno City Attorney's Office, saying that even though the decision is temporary, it reaffirms a commitment to fight for Fresno's future. She said that she will continue to defend equity and inclusion and will work to build a strong, fair community.
Another hit to California's high-speed rail project. U.S. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy has now canceled an additional $175 million in federal funds for that project. Specifically, this pulls $89 million for the La Grande Overcrossing project in Merced County and $54 million for the Madera high-speed rail station. In a statement, Duffy said, quote, "In 20 years, California has not been able to lay a single track of high-speed rail." He continued to blame former President Biden and former Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg for not caring about any failures and still giving money to the project, which Duffy called a fantasy. Happening today, the state assembly Republican leader will be holding a news conference to announce what he is calling a two-state solution. Assemblyman James Gallagher will be calling for the creation of a new U.S. state made up of California's 35 inland counties. That new state would cover most of Northern California, the Sierra Nevada, the Central Valley, and Inland Empire. He says this is his response to Sacramento's attempt to redraw congressional maps, which will be going before voters in Proposition 50 in a special election. Gallagher says that the new congressional map would, quote, silence rural voices.
Time is now 5:04. Let's get a look at your satellite radar. And we're starting to see some different trends happening today because there is a string of high pressure there across the state that is kind of sitting right next to each other. Now, there is a system of low pressure there with a tropical storm looming there out in the Pacific next to Mexico, which we could be talking about a little bit later in the newscast. And as far as the low pressure, it's moved back here towards the central part of the country. And as you can see, no systems, at least major systems this morning to keep an eye on. But as far as your futurecast, there's still going to be some precipitation there in the Sierra Nevadas. This is around 3 p.m. You see that string there mainly towards that border of California and Nevada there. And that's going to be the main issue there as far as today, because things start clearing out. You see at 11:30 p.m. and then there's another just light chance of showers again in the Sierra Nevada regions tomorrow around 3 p.m. and that's about it. Then it starts clearing out. So nothing to compare to what we saw yesterday, and nothing seems to be moving into the Central Valley as of right now. So as far as relative humidity, 42% today, the lowest being at 19% today, and tonight being on average around 52%, kind of matching what we felt yesterday. And the dew point should be around 54, and clear conditions today, so not that bad. And as far as the next 3 days, we're continuing to not see triple digits. So high today of 98 degrees. Tomorrow will be, or actually, these are the next several days after this. So 98 today, 99 tomorrow on Thursday, and then 98 on Friday. Just excuse it, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Still trying to catch up today. Haven't hit the coffee just yet. Overnight lows are going to be in the 60s there, so not too bad to continue this string of double digits. I'm not going to see them until possibly this weekend, but we'll talk about that a little bit later in the newscast. We're going to look at your highs and lows for the rest of the valley for your Wednesday.
A well-known local restaurant owner, Robert Bobby Salazar, is now facing federal arson charges in connection to a fire at one of his restaurants. Salazar is accused of hiring a motorcycle gang to set fire to the vacant property on Blackstone Avenue in April of last year. Salazar received nearly $1 million as an insurance payout because of that fire. Salazar is also accused of lying to his insurance company about his involvement in the fire. Fresno attorney Roger Bonnichter gave us a detailed breakdown of the case, including what broke the case open.
They then find cell phone records where Bobby had communicated with at least one, if not more than one, of these biker gang members and people that are alleged to have been involved in this arson. So from there, they dig deeper, and apparently Bobby even answers the question directly if he knows these people. He denies knowing them or ever talking to them.
Thomas Qualls, the accused arsonist, remains in the Fresno County Jail. He is facing charges of arson, along with possession of firearms and ammunition by a felon. If Salazar is convicted, he faces a mandatory minimum of 5 years in prison and a maximum of 20 years for commercial arson, along with an additional mandatory 10 years of arson in furtherance of a felony.
But Salazar's arrest is now part of a much broader investigation looking at other suspicious fires. Investigators tell us that all of those fires are connected to people that Salazar knew. Instances that Bonnichter says are all laid out in detail with photographs starting on page 17 of that federal complaint.
There was a 2020 civil lawsuit where an employee had alleged wrongful termination by Bobby. Somehow, apparently, that individual's vehicles were firebombed by Molotov cocktails.
Now, Salazar in this case is due in court today. Well, the back and forth between California and the Trump administration continues this morning. Hear why the White House is now threatening to freeze millions in the state's sexual education funding.
The Chuck Chansey Skycam, sponsored by Chuck Chansey Gold Resort and Casino.
And a live look now at Fresno Yosemite International Airport from above our Fox 26 studio. It is 5:09, 71 degrees right now, but a warm-up is underway. You can find new headlines and the weather forecast on your screen all morning long, even through the commercial break.
Hi, I'm Monty Torres with Fox 26 News on YouTube. Thank you for checking out our YouTube channel, where we have loads of great content for you to choose from. And while you're here, why not click on the subscribe button right here? That way you can stay in touch with all the latest breaking news, everything news related within the Central Valley. And thank you for watching.